Yes, raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Okay,
Well, we
so,
do that in our house, actually.
welcome everybody to workshop number 2. Welcome everybody to workshop number 2. And, where the, here we go. All right, so I just want to start, just be careful of the, please be careful of the camera.
Yeah, be careful, yeah, oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Be careful of the camera.
Hi.
Where should we sit, honey?
Anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want.
Don't sit over the camera.
Anywhere you want, just watch, be careful of the camera, because some people, a couple people who signed up
Yeah.
have appointments or whatever,
Oh.
so we are recording it for those people.
Okay,
That's nice.
so I just want to start by talking about something called negativity bias. And what negativity bias is that, and this is a scientific fact, I'll explain to you briefly what it is, that basically when our ancestors were, let's say, hunting and gathering, and they were in the forest, and they heard a noise, so they said, is that a waterfall, or is that a tiger? So if they said it's a waterfall, and they made a mistake, they will lunch. So therefore,
They were
They
lunch.
were what?
If
they
they
were
said it
lunch.
was, if they said it was a waterfall, but it wasn't, they ended up being lunch,
They
right?
ended up being
Because
eaten by the
they
animal.
get eaten up by the
So
animal.
that's the idea of so over time, we have developed a negativity bias, which we as humans, most frequently will immediately go to the negative as opposed to the positive. And that has been proved scientifically. In fact, to the extent that we go to the negative 3 times as often as we go to the positive. So what we need to do to balance that out is to work on going to the positive. And there are a number of ways to do that. In fact, in one of our future workshops, we're going to be doing a part of a class called Positive Intelligence, which is going to teach you how to get really more into the positive aspect. However, today, Nechama is going to introduce a way of us going to the positive, and we also need the video too, right? So,
Yeah, so,
let me say the video
yeah,
first.
that's.
All right, so I'm gonna start by showing us all a video about how you can build positivity, okay? So, just give me a minute.
We get a movie.
Yes, we're gonna move it.
This lady over
Elaine.
in front.
Here.
Okay.
So you can each get a card.
All right, you tell me
Thank
when,
you.
you tell me when you're ready, honey.
Oh, you got one.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. So we're gonna watch a 4-minute video on the science and benefits of what's called positive affirmations.
Did you know that just by saying something out loud, you can make it true for yourself? It's called an affirmation and it's been used for centuries to improve people's lives. Affirmations are a great way to focus on the good things in your life and to bring more positive energy into your world. Plus, there's some pretty interesting science behind them. Keep watching to learn more about the benefits of affirmations and how to start using them in your own life today. 1. What are affirmations and how do they work? Affirmations are positive statements that can help to change your thinking and behavior. For example, if you repeatedly tell yourself that you are confident, capable, and worthy of success, you may find it easier to take risks and pursue your goals. Affirmations can also be used to overcome negative thoughts and beliefs, such as I'm not good enough or I'll never amount to anything. While affirmations won't magically make your problems disappear, they can help to shift your mindset in a more positive direction. Over time, this can lead to real changes in your life. So, if you're looking for a little boost of self-confidence or motivation, give affirmations a try. 2. The science behind affirmations. The power of positive thinking is a popular concept, and there is definitely some science to back it up. Studies have shown that people who use affirmations tend to have a more positive outlook on life and are more likely to achieve their goals. In one study, participants who were told to repeat the affirmation "I am a lovable person" for 2 weeks reported feeling more confident and optimistic than those who did not use affirmations. Another study found that students who wrote down their goals were more likely to achieve them than students who did not. So, there is definitely some evidence to suggest that affirmations can be effective in helping people achieve their goals. However, it's important to remember that affirmations are just one tool that can be used to help achieve success. Affirmations are not a magic bullet, and they will not work if you do not also put in the hard work required to reach your objectives. But if you combine affirmations with dedication and effort, you may just find yourself achieving things you never thought possible. 3. How to create effective affirmations you can use daily. When it comes to self-improvement, few things are as helpful as affirmations. By repeating positive statements about yourself, you can change your mindset and start to see yourself in a new light.
And that's what we're gonna be doing very shortly, okay? So that's what the cards were that Nechama handed out to you. All right, so you'll give out, wanna give out cards? I'll pause it for a minute.
Okay,
So just pause it for
people
a minute.
who just got here.
So according to this film and according to the research that we've read, that affirmations really can change your mindset. If you practice it in a diligent way, and it can begin to change your whole state, your whole, your positivity, negativity balance. So let's just continue.
However, not all affirmations are equally effective. In order to create affirmations that work for you, there are a few things you should keep in mind. First, your affirmations should be specific and realistic.
Yeah, so in other words, they should be specific and realistic means an affirmation should, it wouldn't be right to say, okay, I'm in great shape and I'm going to win a gold medal at the Olympics. And that's an affirmation, but is it realistic? But it would be realistic to say, I'm affirming myself that I'll be able to swim 5 laps this week. That's an affirmation that you could do. All right, let's continue.
For example, rather than saying I am successful, try, I am taking steps every day to reach my goals. Second, make sure your affirmations are present tense. Affirming that something is true in the future won't have the same effect as affirming that it is true in the present moment. Finally, don't be afraid to get creative. There's no one right way to write or say an affirmation, so experiment until you find something that resonates with you. With a little effort, you can transform your self-image and start living the life you want. So, what's the verdict? Are affirmations worth it? In short, yes. The benefits of using affirmations are backed by science and can help you achieve your goals. Plus, they are a great way to start your day or end it on a positive note. If you want to give them a try, we recommend starting with something simple like, every day and in every way, I am getting better and better, or I am capable and I can do this. What are you waiting for? Give affirmations a try today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, turn on notifications and subscribe to our channel for future videos.
Okay, thank
What was
you.
the one thing you
Move over
said?
now, Nechama.
The affirmation should be what, specific? What were the 3
Right.
things?
Yes.
Well, we can share, we can send this little video to you if you want it. So, the best way I found to do affirmations is in a mirror, looking in my eyes, and it's like feeding yourself. You're feeding yourself positive energy, right? That's very important in terms of building up our self-esteem. And the main cause of stress for many, many people is a lack of self-esteem. Why do I say that? Because if you're not feeling like you're worthy, are you really going to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself and make yourself a priority, right? So we want to build up our self-esteem. Why do we sabotage? Because we don't feel, as good about ourselves as we would like to. So I gave out cards. They're yours as a little gift. They have affirmations on the back, that they don't have to be your affirmation. And they also have, I think, questions. Everybody, I think, has different questions, which I would like you to do for homework, okay? I'm gonna try to give you homework every week. So we do wanna go over a little bit what we spoke about last week. I know some people got the recording, but I don't know. We spoke last week, besides introducing ourselves, we spoke last week about excuses be gone. So why did we do that the first class? Because obviously, most of us, we're gonna learn a lot of things here that you can incorporate into your life easily, I hope, and pray, that's the point. But, you know, we all have excuses. It's too late, it's too early, it's too hot, it's too cold, I'm too tired, I'm whatever, I'm too nervous, I'm too energetic, I don't know, whatever. You can come up with like a lot of excuses. So we spoke about that, and it's very important for us to build up our self-esteem, so when we have those excuses come into our heads, which they are going to, we will come back to ourselves and say, I'm worth it, right? Every day I'm getting better and better, or whatever affirmation you choose. I think a really good way to make a personal affirmation is think about what you would like, let's say, a nurturing parent to say. What would you like to be hearing all day long from a nurturing parent? You know, all of us need to create within us a nurturing parent. So when you have those negative thoughts or feelings, or you're neglecting yourself, or you're neglecting your loved ones, or whatever you're supposed to be doing, you have these internal like messages that will come to you more easily the more you do them, right? So that's a very important part of our program. Reprogramming the brain. I have a lot of recordings on something called Kol HaLashon about how to change your brain. How to be happy in spite of your brain, or something like that, But, it's all about changing the brain, right? So this is why we emphasize affirmations, and it'll help you to succeed. So the first class we did was about, if we look at our excuses, that's one blockage. And, and the other part of the class was also, what was the other thing that we did? Meditation. We did a meditation that was very, very, healing. 5-minute meditation. So these are things we want you to incorporate in your life. There's like I said last week, there are zillions of meditations on YouTube, and you check them out and see which ones you like, which resonates with you, which you feel, fills you. And listen to those, even if it's a 3-minute meditation. I have a book at home called The 3-Minute Meditator. So when I work with my clients, I'll tell, even if it's 1 minute, baby steps, How do we get to Carnegie Hall? Right, what?
One step at a time.
Slowly.
Practice, right? You all know that one.
Where do you find it, on what you?
So you go on YouTube and you just put in the search, affirmations, positive affirmations, or excuses be gone, or whatever topic that we've talked about. Meditations for healing, meditations for stress, meditations for relaxation. Okay, so there are many, many of them. And you experiment around, see which ones, like I said, that you like and that resonate for you, that you're gonna look forward to hearing, okay? And the same thing with affirmations. So aside from your card, does anybody have a card they'd like to share with us? Anybody here wanna share what their card says? Elise?
Okay,
Just say it loud enough so it goes on the recording, or I'll repeat it, it's okay.
you want it on both sides?
Well, you can tell us the affirmation first. Oh, you have 2 sides to your card. One's an affirmation and one's a question.
Okay, I channel the energy and the wisdom of the universe for the highest good of all.
Anybody else want to share their affirmation? Miriam?
On the other side.
I am respectful and completely self-aware.
Nice. Okay, anything else? They're both nice. Anyone
I
else?
have the same as she.
Oh, sorry, has the same. Yeah.
I am proud of myself and my achievements.
That's a good
I have the same. I
You have the
am
same
proud
one. Okay.
of
Yeah, I
myself.
did. I handed out,
and my
similar ones also. So then if you turn the card around, there are questions, okay? Can anyone share their question? Like to
Mine says,
share?
Write
Yes.
down 5 positive affirmations about yourself. Repeat them daily.
Nice. So that's your homework.
Definitely.
Okay, Sari? Marilyn?
What is working well in my life right now How would I live my life differently if I know no one would judge me?
Interesting one, right? So that's your homework. Did you get the same one, Jack?
Same card.
Oh, okay. Who has a different one? Anybody?
I do.
Shelley?
Why am I worried about others' opinions? How can I stop worrying about what other people think?
That's
Okay.
good.
You had that one too, Julie. Okay, so some of you had the same, and some of you had, Elise, you have a different one?
No, what I was gonna say is that, I was taught that every day I should say, 3 things I love about myself, and then 3 things, affirmations, like I'm a righteous daughter of Hashem, I'm beautiful inside and out, whatever affirmations there are, and then 10 gratitudes.
Great, beautiful.
So there's a lot of-
So yeah, gratitudes also help change the brain. There's a lot of scientific evidence about gratitudes. I write down 10 gratitudes every day. That's part of my morning ritual. So I write down 10 gratitudes a day. I write down goals, my goals for the day. So I have sort of an action plan, right? Then I write down 3 victories from the day before. Whether it's made an uncomfortable call, or, I planned something that was not so easy for me, or I apologized quickly. That's not my forte, but, it's a victory if I do it within about, I don't know how many minutes. But I'm just saying, these kinds of things written every day. I have a book. And that's one other thing I would recommend is, if you can, find a buddy. And you make up a time when you can say your gratitudes and your affirmations, or, find somebody. I mean, you can call each other, you can set up texting of gratitude. There's all kinds of tricks that we're gonna teach you about how to do these things in an easy way that you can incorporate in your life and make your life better every day. So,
Yes,
Masha, take it away.
I just want to add to that. It's like anything else, repetition has a lot of power. So if you say one affirmation once a day, it's not going to be as powerful as if you took that same affirmation and you said it 5 times or 10 times or 20 times during the day. So repeat your affirmations throughout the day. Nechama does it with the mirror. You can even write your affirmation on a little Post-it, put it on the mirror. Every time you go in the bathroom to do your makeup or whatever we do, see your little Post-it and say your affirmation. And there's a lot of power behind it. Okay, so I want to move on to our next topic, something which is actually very interesting. So how do Nechama and I get into all these things? So one of the ways we get into things is like we go on the internet and we see things, we go to lectures by someone, but I also do it by reading. And I read a book about a year ago that really profoundly affected me. I'm gonna write its name down. And it's gonna be really the topic of it'll be our next topic. And it's gonna be something that I can guarantee you never think about. Tell me something you never think about.
Breathing.
That's exactly what the topic is.
No, I'm thinking, it's
Breath.
unless you're out of breath, unless you are
Yeah.
walking and you're having trouble breathing or something is going wrong, it's like,
Does
I
that
don't
say
think
breathing?
about how well my feet,
Right.
my toes work until I stub my toe.
Exactly. So we don't think about breath, and many of us aren't breathing correctly, and there are things we can do to improve how we breathe, and there are some aspects of breathing that you may not be aware of. I mean, we all know we need breath, to go in and out, but there's some very interesting facts. So I'm going to show a video. The first part is very fact-filled. So I'm going to let it run, and then I'll stop it, and I'll explain, I think, the most important points. But I think it's a very, very good video, and it's a summary of a book called Breath by a man named James Nestor.
I'm in the class now. 4:30 we have to be there.
James Nestor.
Breath, James Nestor.
Yeah, around 4.
So James Nestor wrote a book on breathing, and based on not only did he do research, but he was sort of like the lab rat. So for example, he plugged up his nostrils and only breathed through his mouth for like a week or two. And then he wrote about what the effect of that was. Then he taped his mouth and only breathed through his nostrils for a week or two. And he wrote about it, and he did research on it. So you're gonna learn a little bit about breath now from this video. As I said, the first part's a little technical, but I will pause the video.
If you can't see well, and it's a big room, so like you can adjust, I see some of you going like this, so if you can't see well, feel free to move if you want.
Okay, so hold on.
So I just wanna say, in terms of YouTubes, that we have watched hours and hours and hundreds and I don't even know, probably thousands of YouTubes, so, you know, that's part of why we're offering this. So, you know, we've experimented and looked for, you know, the videos that we felt were, you know, really very good, you know, good ones that are short, but to the point. You know, because a lot of them are very long,
Okay.
you know, like it's like, ah.
The recipes.
Okay, so the first part of this video is going to have, it's a summary of the book, and it's going to give you 9 scientific facts about breath, which you may or may not know. Usually I know that I need breath to stay alive because I got to take in oxygen, I have to expel CO2. That was basically all I knew about breath. There's a lot more to breath than just that, and hopefully you're going to find that out now. So,
If you have arthritis and wonder
So
what
this
food
is just
could be
a
doing to your
commercial we should
joints,
go through.
watch this.
I get asked.
Is it beneficial?
okay, here we go. Should I turn off the lights or?
Breath work is something people have been doing for thousands of years. It is at the center of meditation and yoga and the Wim Hof method. But despite widespread participation in these various practice, cases of asthma, sleep apnea, and other medical breathing conditions have been steadily rising. In today's book, Breath, author James Nestor takes a deep dive into the world of breathing, talking to freedivers and monks, lung specialists, dentists, and elite athletic trainers, all of whom believe in the transformative power of the breath. I split this video into 2 sections today, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. First, I'm going to do one section, which is 9 surprising scientific facts that I learned from this book, and then in the second section, I'm going to give you James Nestor's 6 tips for breathing better. Number 1, the nose is a large and complex organ. Right behind your nose, in your face, is this huge organ called the nasal concha, which is about the size of a billiard ball, which is a series of complex passageways that look a lot like a seashell. What this does is it spreads the air out through these multitudes of small tubes, increasing surface area. This allows for accelerated warming, moisturizing, and filtering of the air before it reaches the bronchia and eventually the lungs. 2, at standard room temperature and pressure, a single breath contains roughly 25 sextillion molecules. 3, every red blood cell in your body has 270 million hemoglobin, and each hemoglobin can hold 4 oxygen molecules. The adult human body has roughly 25 trillion red blood cells. Number 4, where does weight loss go? When we lose fat, it gets broken down into carbon dioxide and water. Water is lost through sweat and urination, and carbon dioxide is lost through the breath. Of every 10 pounds of fat we lose, 8.5 of them are lost through the breath. 5, breathing 1 equivalent breath through the nose instead of the mouth increases oxygenation by 20%. This is because of the warming and moisturizing of the air that primes it to be at the perfect condition for absorption in the lungs. 6, the same breath through the nose increases nitric oxide production by 6 times. Nitric oxide is the chemical that our body produces that controls vasodilation. This is what expands your capillaries, increasing circulation and decreasing inflammation. 7, we are physiologically predisposed to breathe badly. Overcooking and processing food over the last several hundred years, and then eating this food during childhood while we're developing has caused our mouths to grow smaller and our faces to grow longer. It's caused our top palate to not drop down in the same way that it used to, broadening the upper jaw, and the palate is now pushed up into our nasal cavities in many modern humans. This is what causes crooked teeth and small mouths, bad breathing, snoring, and and sleep apnea.
Sounds familiar, right?
CO2 is actually necessary for oxygen exchange in the blood. This seemed completely counterintuitive to me. I thought that we inhaled oxygen and exhaled CO2 in an exchange pattern, but I didn't realize that the CO2 was actually necessary for that exchange to take place. If you don't have enough CO2 in the blood to release the oxygen from the hemoglobin, then they can't be exchanged with the cells for CO2. So actually, if you over-oxygenate your blood too much by over-breathing and deplete your body of CO2, your oxygen levels in your blood will be really high, but none of that is actually getting transferred into the oxygen-starved cells that need it. 9. Breathing in the human body is controlled by chemoreceptors, and chemoreceptors largely monitor CO2, not oxygen. So when you hold your breath and you feel that need to breathe, what you're actually feeling is a heightened level of CO2 in the blood, not a depletion of oxygen. This is how freedivers train themselves to hold their breath for 8 or 10 minutes. What they're actually doing is pushing the level of their chemoreceptors and so that they can withstand the high CO2 levels, knowing that their blood and body actually still has enough oxygen. Okay, so
Okay, can you turn on the lights, honey? Okay, so I just want to go through, that was very complicated, some of the stuff, so I kind of broke it down.
It is very interesting.
But the things, but it was very interesting too, right?
Yeah.
So, number one,
Are you gonna post this clip?
if you,
Sure, if you want.
I love it.
if you,
I'd love to watch it again.
if you breathe through your nose and not through your mouth, you increase the amount of oxygen you're taking in 20% just by breathing through your nose. So that was fact number one that I found to be very interesting. If you breathe through your nose, it increases nitrous oxide production, which increases vascular dilation. In other words, like your arteries get wider, and improves circulation and decreases inflammation. So if you breathe through your nose, you're actually bringing in more nitrous oxide, and that's going to help you actually increase your oxygen in the blood and push down inflammation.
Moshe,
Yeah.
it was suggested that I take nitric oxide supplements.
That's very interesting.
And so I've been doing that now for several months. So
I also take them, it's
So-
very important.
So the
Moshe
thing
doesn't-
is
He doesn't
that-
know, he realizes.
no.
I just give him stuff and
Right, I'm just taking it,
but he's
okay.
taking it, yeah.
Right, so, all right, so here, so poor diet, we don't chew enough. Everything is processed. And over hundreds of years, what's happened is like he said in this little video, our palates have been pushed back up towards our nose, and they prevent us from breathing properly. Now, many, many years ago, Nechama Tzipora was a macrobiotic, and one of the things the macrobiotics said, they said, drink your food and chew your liquids. Drink your food and chew your liquids. So he's gonna talk about doing that even now, even though we've,
How do you
We've-
chew your liquids?
you drink,
You
so sorry.
slush it around a little bit to
I
get the
did that at-
enzymes.
I did that
Right.
at someone's house and she said,
Enzymes.
stop drinking.
Okay, you do what you can.
Okay, so-
You do what you can, but every little thing, helps. Every little bit.
So-
We are gonna cover some nutrition, I know, I promised
So,
we did that.
so,
last
he also mentioned in there, there are people that are divers, let's say in the Caribbean or in Bali, wherever it is, Hawaii. They stay under the water for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. How do they do that? The way they do that, according to the research, is that they're actually increasing the amount of CO2 in their blood. The more CO2 that you have in your blood, the greater the exchange of oxygen that will take place. So people think, oh, I want to have more oxygen. No, you want to have more CO2 in your blood, and that's why you're taking the nitrous oxide.
If you breathe through your nose, you get more
and-
oxygen, it said.
Yeah, well, you get more oxygen, but you also get more
CO2.
CO2.
which is
So,
really-
so enough of the science. Let's go to some practical things you could do. So everybody, keep your mouths closed while you're watching this, all right? And breathe through your nose. It's not a joke. They sell tape that you can put over your mouth so that you will force yourself like when Nechama and I are walking up a hill, we both make it, and you know, you have this thing if you want to breathe through the mouth because you're getting out of breath, we put tape over our mouths.
So you don't
Not that we
talk.
keep our mouths closed, I mean. No, we don't put that, we put, but a lot of times when we go to
You
sleep,
walk around like this.
it's actually very good, because like, it works both ways. So we also have tape, if you go to sleep, you can put it over your mouth when you go to sleep. So number one, it prevents any arguments before you go to sleep. And number two, it forces you to breathe through your nose.
What if your nose is
The
clogged?
key to a happy marriage,
to a
get some
happy
tape.
What if your nose is clogged and you have a cold and you can't breathe through your nose?
Okay, so,
Very cheap.
so you know what?
Jack had a question.
So I heard that, so
Yeah,
you know
Jack
what?
has a question, yes.
I heard the question, I'll repeat it, is what if you have a cold and your nose is clogged and you can't breathe?
I have the answer.
Go ahead.
So there's a method called the Buteyko method, and he has a method of unblocking your nose, and I can send it to you as a video. But it's very simple, and it's very easy, and it's very effective, and it really helps prevent a cold. As soon as I see myself getting like under the weather, I do a lot of these. I do it every day anyway, because it's just a health preventative thing. But the point is, what you do is, and everybody can try it with me, you want to empty your body of air, as much air as you can. So you take an inhalation, not through your mouth, sweetie. We're trying to do through the nose. So if your nose is blocked, it might be a little difficult, but usually you can get a little, at least empty your body, even if you had to empty it through your mouth. But then you keep your mouth closed and you pinch your nose. So you have practically no air in your body. I don't know if it's possible to get
So why
all
don't
the air
you-
out of your body.
Why don't you say it,
But
and I'll do it.
You empty your body of air as much as possible, pinch your nose, and then you go up and down for as long as you can, and you keep doing that. So then, you know, don't push yourself till you're like, because we don't want you to breathe through the mouth, right? And which you will do. If you push it too long, you're gonna end up breathing through your mouth. So you don't wanna do that. But you wanna make sure you can breathe normally after you unpinch, after you unblock it, and then just do it again. And usually within a few minutes, my nose is completely unblocked. But that's not just the only thing that's happening. You're alkalizing your body, and you will either prevent the cold or you'll get better much faster. Because all disease, and this has become a very well-known fact of life, all disease is caused by inflammation.
Right.
And so the whole point of all the things that we're teaching you is called alkalization. You want to alkalize your body, and CO2, which is what we do when we empty the air and we keep it out of our body for a while, helps to alkalize your body and get rid of inflammation. Okay, so that's very important, especially for seniors, because we know arthritis comes from inflammation and all kinds of diseases. They're saying even cancer and all kinds of diseases come from inflammation, right? So these are very easy ways. I don't want to call myself lazy, but I'm a very easy, everything has to be pretty easy for me to hop it and do it in my life because I'm just the way I am. So if it's not easy and doable and practical to put it into my life, I'm probably not going to do it. So one more thing for homework, please write this down, and maybe you want to write it on the board while I'm saying it. I would like you to practice keeping your mouth closed, emptying your body of air, pinching your nose, and I'd like you to write down how many seconds you can do that. And I would like you to keep doing it throughout the week and see if you can increase the amount of time that the breath stays out of your body, okay? So that's gonna help you to alkalize. It has tremendous effects on emotions as well, because we all know also the better your body feels, the better you feel, right? Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, every which way. So this very easy, free technique will help you immeasurably if you make it a consistent, committed part of your life, okay? So I do this every morning. This is like part of my morning routine. And I said, I do my writing of my gratitudes and this and that. I'll get to you in 1 second, sweetheart. I just lose track of my thoughts. That's part of my morning routine. Do my writing, do my breathing, and do my meditate. Like I have a whole routine in the morning to get my head on straight. Because, I just wanna say, after sleeping for however long you sleep, I'm not such a big sleeper, but after sleeping, let's say minimum 5-6 hours, right? Your body has been, still basically, or, you may thrash around a little bit, but you're certainly not as active, right? So most people, when they wake up, what do? They reach for the coffee, they have to take a shower, they have to get their head on straight. I'm not a coffee drinker and I'm not a shower in the morning, first thing in the morning person. That doesn't work for me, but this works for me. And then I go do all those other things. I don't drink coffee though, but I'll eat my breakfast, I'll do whatever, I'll take my shower, whatever I have to do. Wash up, get ready for the day. Yes?
My question is, when I hold my nose, am I allowing breath out through the nose or no breath at all?
You want to keep your body, and I love this because it's such a spiritual insight.
Because at first I thought you meant to flutter it, so. No.
You want to completely keep the breath out of your body and try to work it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this man, Buteyko, one second, Harry. He was a Russian scientist who found that the more you can keep your body empty of air, the healthier the person is.
Wow.
And he worked with thousands of people and helped them with all kinds of diseases. It's amazing. And it's so interesting to me because so many people don't know this. It's a very simple thing to do. It's very easy and it's very measurable. That's one thing I really love about it also. It's measurable. So I know when I wake up in the morning and I do my breathing, if I can only keep my body empty for, let's say, 15 seconds, I know, I know I'm headed for a cold or some kind of something's brewing in my body. But when I started doing this, I had a lot of different health issues, and I could only keep myself empty for about 10 to 12 seconds. But I built it up over time. So now I'm comfortable, usually 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50, depends on the day, a lot. But if I see that I'm low, I know I have to do it more, okay? So you want to elongate, also try to work on elongating your exhalation. That's also beautiful because why I think these are very spiritual things also. It's like the emptier I am, the healthier I'll be, right? Especially in terms of my head, like the brain is blah, 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 blah. But the emptier I am of my ego, of me, whatever. So it's just to me a very spiritual insight. And also, we want to slow down. We want to be able to give out twice as much exhalation as inhalation, okay? That's a very important concept. And I also love that because on a spiritual level, you want to be a giver. You want to give twice as much as what you get, right? We're all here to give. And we all know, I think, everybody knows, the more you're able to give, the better you feel, I think, right?
Yeah, but
yes.
sometimes I was always under the impression that you have to oxygenate your blood in order to be healthy. Your blood needs oxygen. So how could you stop breathing for a while and have your blood lack the oxygen that it needs to function in a healthy condition?
I'll answer that for you, because basically, in order for your blood to absorb oxygen, and I wrote it down here, they're a little confusing, they're called chemoreceptors. The chemoreceptors actually operate, the more CO2 you have in your blood, the more oxygen you're able to exchange with your hemoglobin. So you actually need to you need to work on building up CO2 in your body, which increases oxygen. If you just were breathing straight oxygen, most of that oxygen is not going to get absorbed because you need the CO2 that affects the chemoreceptors to help you absorb it. And so when you're exhaling, you're basically emptying your body. When people say, let's hold my breath, how do they hold their breath? They breathe in and then they hold. No, this method is saying just the opposite. You breathe out, you exhale everything. So now you're in a state of oxygen, essentially no oxygen in the body, and you're building up your CO2 in your body, and that's actually going to help you over time release more oxygen into the blood. That's what the science is about.
It's scientific,
You know,
but they have proven this scientifically. that this is what works.
You see people in the hospital that need oxygen masks. They need oxygen. The normal oxygen that they normally breathe that's in
Right.
the air is not enough for them.
Right.
So doesn't that?
But their body is in such
I don't
that's such a
understand.
critical state that they can't even, they can't even breathe properly at all. But we don't wanna get to that place, so it's scientifically proven
Okay,
that
I'm just
this will
asking.
help you in terms of the inflammation in your body and to oxygenate your body.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Harriet in 1 minute, but I just wanna say in the back of this book, Breath, there are hundreds of notes and footnotes based on scientific research. So we're not just talking, we're saying this is all based on scientific research. Harriet, you had a question and we were.
How often do you want us to pinch?
Okay, well,
I kinda feel like you're
I
gonna.
would like, what, the ideal, it would be great if people could do this at
Every
least a few
breath?
times.
Every
No, a
breath?
few
No.
times a day.
How
The
many-
exercise, I would say, what I tell my clients, that an easy way to do it is spend at least, let's say, 5 minutes before a meal doing it. Something that's doable. You have to figure out like when I write down my goals for the day, I will say, okay, I'm gonna do my breathing, I'm gonna do, all these things that I tell you that I do, in my action plan, right? So, but at least start with once a day, baby steps, right? Make it doable, make it easy, and just try to incorporate whatever we're telling you, you try to incorporate as much as you can, That's what's, the goal. The goal is to incorporate some of these healing techniques that we're gonna tell you about into your life as much as you possibly can. Did you wanna say something?
I wanted to ask. You said in the beginning, this is based on somebody's, either book or, what was the name?
It's called Breath by James Nestor.
No, but there was another,
Oh, Buteyko.
what is it?
His name is Dr. Buteyko, Buteyko. Buteyko. He's a Russian.
I'm gonna write it down.
Moshe's gonna write it. Buteyko. And it was very interesting the way I got turned on to this. I was teaching an exercise class, and I was teaching 2 exercise classes, and I had a break in between. And so I put on the radio, just kind of like so-called randomly, and there was somebody on there, this must have been 20 years ago, and somebody was on there talking about this Buteyko breathing and how it improved their lives, and I said, wow, this is cool. And at that point, like I said, I can only keep the breath out of my body for 10 seconds, and I had a lot of physical issues going on with me.
You say you do it like before each meal for you to remember. What is your goal as far as many times a day that you would like?
Well, honestly, if I'm not feeling 100%, I would aim for 5 times a day, for at least 5 minutes, 5 times a day.
How do you do it 5 minutes?
and then
You're
I-
gonna pass out.
And then, I'm just saying, what you do is, you breathe in, you breathe out, you pinch your nose, you time how long you can do it. You can then wait a minute or however long you need to wait and do it again. And you can do it 5 times, you can do it, you'll see, you have to, with all these things, you have to experiment with yourself and see how you can incorporate it, how long, how much, how you wanna do it. I promised Rita I'm gonna talk a little bit about nutrition, so that's what I would like to do next, okay? And breathing properly is actually a form of nutrition, because I think the better you feel and the more oxygen you get in your body, a lot of people eat, because they're really looking for energy. So so if you're eating, you're getting some energy, it's true. But if you do some of these kinds of exercises, of course, the breathing and getting some of the nutrients that you need, some of the oxygen, you don't need to, eat as much, you're calmer, you don't have as much nervousness, the more you do these breathing exercises. But in terms of nutrition, one of the first things I
just want to say one thing, so, that's okay.
Okay. I just say,
You're on a-
when I get on a roll,
You're on a
that's
roll?
okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, so I'm not even gonna show the second part of the video, because Nechama basically covered it. So I just do wanna say that, one of the things that he mentioned there, apart from breathing through the nose, is that we as a world basically breathe too many breaths during every minute. So one of the other things is to slow down your breath. So taking deeper breaths, deeper inhales, deeper exhales. He in the book says that it should be approximately about 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, just to learn how to do that. So like if you're usually used to breathing and you suddenly count to yourself like 1, 2, out, 1, 2, in, 1, 2, out, 1, 2. Average breath, probably people breathe about 2 seconds in and out. Expand it to around 5 seconds in and out, and you're gonna begin to see a big change in your breath. Okay, so breathe in and count to 5. Breathe out, count to 5.
And it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
What about,
Slow down your
Doesn't
breathing.
the quality
about-
of the air have something to do with it also if you're outside rather than in a closed room?
I'm sure, but you know what? I would just say to you, practice breathing slower wherever you are. That's what I would say.
Okay.
And Ruvain, what were you gonna say?
Sleep outside.
What was your question?
no, what I learned was you breathe
Sleep in
in
a sukkah.
5 seconds, you hold a certain amount of seconds, and then you breathe out. So
Right.
just where does
That's
Well,
a
the
meditation.
ideal thing is to breathe in, hold it for, like, I'm gonna do a meditation with you
Okay.
before, and it's exactly like that.
Okay.
Okay, so I just wanna mention a few things about nutrition, cause I did promise Rita that, and I know that's very important to her, and I've wanted to do that for years already. So, so again, when I work with a client, it's always baby steps. So the first thing I tell them, let's examine like what changes you could make easily, because if it's not easy, you're probably not gonna do it. So ideally, you wanna eat, of course, less processed foods. So as close to the way that God made food, right? That's the goal, okay? So, in fact, I used to buy wheat kernels, and grind them up myself, that kind of thing. But as close you can to the way the food is naturally, made, the better off we are. Okay, I know that's difficult, especially for seniors, because it requires more thought, preparation, shopping perhaps. But we can find easy ways to do that. First of all, there's Instacart, so, you can get food delivered. But, so the first thing I think is one of the most important things is to get rid of the whites, okay? So, white sugar, white flour, white rice, white pasta. All those things are, what they do is it's very processed, because they're taking the whole food. So they're taking, let's say for white pasta or white rice. So they're taking, the rice is not white naturally. They're taking off the outer husk of the wheat. If you're eating white flour, they're taking off the husk of the wheat, right? It comes in a wheat berry, tiny little thing, that's brown. They're taking off the brown part of the wheat, and that's what they're using for flour, right? And then what do? Then they're gonna add back, I tell you, they added back thiamine and B vitamins and all these things that were in the covering to begin with. So, like, it's not really the healthiest thing to do. As much as possible, you wanna switch to whole wheat, whole spelt. You need to see the word whole, okay? If it says spelt, like I know a lot of people buy spelt matzah, let's say. If it doesn't say whole spelt, you're gonna they do the same thing with spelt as they do with wheat. They take off the covering and you're left with the white part, the starch. You're left with the starch of the spelt, okay? So that's not really what God intended, because the covering of the wheat and the rice, and the other grains, the oats, whatever, has fiber in it. What do we know about fiber? It's like the natural broom that cleans out the body. So what's going on here? You're creating glue. You know how they make glue? Does anyone know? What's the main ingredient of glue? White flour, starch. And this is what's going on in your body if you're not getting enough fiber. So they'll tell somebody who ends up with cholesterol or different heart issues, or all kinds of health issues are created by not having enough fiber in your body. Because it's the natural little broom that goes through your body and helps clean out the toxins in your body. So that's to me like number one like thing you can do that's not so difficult, especially now. I mean, when I first got into health foods, it was much more challenging. Now you can go into Publix and get health foods, you can go anywhere and get health foods. When I got into health foods, I was 17. And there was one health food store in all of New York City. You know what it was? What it was called?
GNC.
Guess.
J&D's.
Greenberg's. Greenberg's, and it was in the Lower East Side, and everything was in barrels. And you had to go there. I was living in Staten Island, and I would take the ferry over, and I'd fill up my bags from these barrels of brown rice and, you know, whole beans and all kinds of things. And, you know, thank God, you know, now you can walk down the streets of New York. I don't even know if there's one block that doesn't have some kind of healthy something. Either a yoga studio or a health food store or, you know, something, you know, herbal stores, all kinds of things, you know. So, and I used to say, and I said this last week, but it bears repeating, it always made such an impression on me that, you know, they'd have all these, you know, fast food places, and then on the same block, like, especially in Manhattan, it's really so unbelievable. You'd have like a, let's say a McDonald's, and then like a few doors away is a Duane Reade, you know, or, you know, and I was like, I was amazed, like, don't people make the correlation? Like, I don't get it, like, you go from here into here, like, okay, let's go, you know. So as much as possible, no processed foods, stay away from the whites, increase, of course, you know, your greens, your vegetables, especially organic green leafy vegetables if you can. Juicing if you can. Juicing's a good way to get some vitamins into your body. I will share with you some of my, you know, the things I do. I make flax crackers every few weeks. I make crackers out of flax seeds, and I get a really good combination from Amazon that has flax and pumpkin seeds and blah, blah, blah. I think Cerise tasted them, Elise said they're
too
really,
many of them.
really yummy,
They're
right?
really good.
I have a question. I'm confused with the flax seeds, because some professionals say you have to grind it in order to get the health benefits of it.
Mhm.
So when you do the flax crackers, do you grind the flax seeds or you leave it whole?
No, but what I do with the flax is I soak it. So if you're
Does
not
that
gonna
make it
grind
more
it,
available
yes,
to the body?
yeah. And of course you have to chew. And that's another thing, chew, chew, chew. I try to count
How-
25 chews per mouthful.
25 what?
But the main thing, 25 chews per mouthful.
How long do you
But
have to soak it?
but the easier thing is to make it into liquid.
Right.
You don't have to count them.
How long do you have to soak it before you?
I soak it at least 3 to 4 hours. You don't want to soak it too long because it'll start to ferment. So but outside the fridge. So, and in Florida, you know, I would only do it here, like at least, like, unless you have your air conditioner on, it's different, but we're not big on air conditioning. So like 3 to 4 hours or something like that, and then I make it into my crackers. So those are a couple things that I wanted to tell you. Of course, you want to increase your liquid, right? No caffeinated liquid though, no caffeine. So you make yourself drink water, fill up. So the ideal amount of water per person, or herbal tea with no caffeine, is one quart. What you do is this: take half your body weight. So I weigh about 115 pounds. So half my body weight is approximately 60 ounces. So that's how you do it. That's how much liquid your body really needs to keep yourself healthy.
Keep yourself in the
According-
bathroom from you.
Keep yourself as healthy as possible, and then you get your exercise going to the bathroom, right? So no, but I'm just saying, you know, that's the goal, and an easy way to achieve that goal, figure out how many ounces you should be drinking, fill up a pitcher in the morning of that many ounces, and make sure you finish it before you go to bed. I just learned something last night, which I thought was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you. So there's a man named Jose Silva, S-I-L-V-A, who became like a big kind of like, almost like a guru type of person. He's not into, you know, that kind of thing, but he's very into helping people achieve their goals. and he said, have a cup of water by your bed, and before you go to sleep, drink half of it, but you say to yourself, you look up, and you say, some kind of like, I guess, prayer about, may this water help me to solve all my problems, and then in the morning you do the same thing. Half the cup at night, and do this subconscious, this is a healing thing for me, however you want to do it. You say some kind of positive thing about it, and he says, look up. So I put my eyes up. I did it last night, and I think it's a really good idea. Anyway, so what
happens the other half?
You drink it in the morning. You cover it, and you drink it in the morning, and do the same thing in the morning, first thing in the morning.
So what is it
So
you
it's a little
say?
tip.
To help you
So
back?
you say a little prayer, you lift your eyes up, you say a little prayer, may this water help me to solve all my problems today, or, something like that.
Drinking all of this water, especially while you're going to sleep, most doctors say, especially for women, not to drink after a certain time, because you're gonna get up during the night to go to run to the bathroom, and then a lot of people cannot fall asleep again, so.
Well, if you make
I'm not
it
saying
doesn't
you
have to
should.
be a big cup of water.
No.
You could do this exercise with 4 ounces,
Right.
let's say, a little bit of water. It doesn't have to be
I'm
a
not
lot of
saying-
water.
No, I'm not contradicting you.
Oh, but I'm just saying, if I drank a lot of water, I would have to be up at night. But last night I did it, and I just drank like a little bit. It's just a nice way to do some kind of subconscious. He says these thoughts go into your subconscious before you go to sleep.
Did you know that
And-
just by saying something out loud?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here with us. I hope you got something out of it that you can use in your
What
life.
is this, honey?
One second.
Are we gonna see the?
Did you want, we didn't really discuss that.
That's what I was gonna say, is.
Do you wanna just do
have
15 minutes longer
Yeah,
each
yeah,
one?
yeah.
Oh, okay, so that's fine. You have a doctor's appointment, okay. So I guess what we'll do is for the next few weeks, we'll do 15 minutes longer for the next, from today and for the next 4 weeks. So, what I said to you
Easy,
before,
easy.
so everybody has a
Want some
card,
help getting
right?
up?
You didn't get a
Want
card.
some help? Can I help you? Can I help you?
Here's your,
Okay.
that's a present.
Watch yourself over the.
So,
Can you step over this?
Yeah.
Go
So
ahead.
before you
Thank
go, you know your homework, right? So I just wanna go
Put it
over,
here.
thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Shelley.
Love you.
Oh, you have to focus.
Hi, Shelley.
Oh, and I just wanna tell
Continue what
everybody
you were
who's
saying,
here,
because you-
I'm having a birthday
Okay.
party at the clubhouse after Shabbat. And I'd love you all to be there with me, and Karen is also celebrating, and so,
You mean at night after Shabbat is over?
yeah, I know you work.
Be careful here.
I know you work.
At the dance.
At the dance, but I know you work.
You had a
Like
thought,
bring a little
Moshe.
something for Nash.
Yes,
You
yes.
had a thought.
Bring
okay.
something for Nash.
So let's just go over, and then we can open up for a few questions if you have. Oh, and Moshe's gonna do a little bit of movement with us. What we'd like to do for the last 15 minutes,
Yeah.
if we're gonna add 15 minutes, I'm gonna do a brief meditation with you, and we're gonna do a little bit of movement.
Oh, good.
So let me just do. Okay, so let's just do, I'm just gonna lead you in maybe a 3-minute meditation with the breathing, okay? And then we'll do a little Qigong, which is healing Chinese exercise, which you can do either sitting or standing. So, just everybody make sure your phone is on vibrate or closed or whatever, so we don't have it. Take a drink if you need a drink or.
Take a drink.
Okay. So, if you can, let's just close our eyes. You wanna, let me just turn off the
I'll do
light.
that.
I want you to work on breathing in for the count of 4. Hold it in for the count of 8 if you can. And then try to breathe out for the count of 8. And then you want to see, if possible, keep your breath out of your body for the count of 8. Now, if that 4, 8, 8, 8 is too hard to do, so make it 3 or make it 2, whatever you want. But you want to have this kind of breathing where it's, let's say 4, 8, 8, 8. So everybody clear on it?
Should we
So
stand
inhale,
up or sit down?
I feel better standing.
however you
can
feel
do whatever
good.
you want.
Just whatever works for you. So it's just gonna be, set the timer for 3 minutes. We'll just do 3 minutes. Okay, so I'm gonna start now. Just inhale. You're gonna hold it in. And then you're gonna exhale as slowly as you can. Try to do everything through your nose and then keep the breath out of the body. So it's a 4-part breathing. So what I like to do is I breathe in health and healing. I hold in health and healing in my body, throughout my body. I breathe out any tension. And I say my healing power is always here while my body is empty. So it's inhale, breathe in health and peace, hold it in your body, feel it circulating through your body. Breathe out any tension or negativity. Your healing power is always here. And just try to keep that up in your own way, however it works for you. Try to keep it up for as long as you can. And because I feel free, because we're all, pretty much on the same page here, what I like the most beautiful meditation that I like to do is I breathe in Hashem. I hold Hashem into my heart. I breathe out fear and I say Hashem is here when my body is empty. Breathe in Hashem. Hold Hashem's love and light in my body. Breathe out fear. Hashem is here. And keep the breath out of your body for as long as you can. And just continue as you feel comfortable with breathing and saying positive things to yourself. Say it once more. Breathe in Hashem or your healing power, higher power, whatever you like. Hold that power in your body. Breathe out any fear or tension or anxiety. And just say, my healing power is always here. Hashem is always here. Whatever works for you. So you find what works for you, and you just do it in a way that makes you feel much calmer. Were you okay with that? Did it work for
Breathe in
you?
and out through
Very
your nose.
good.
the whole
Everything is
time.
the nose.
Everything the nose, that's so different than.
The nose knows. Okay, so Moshe's gonna do some Qigong with us. And you can do it from your seat, you can do it standing, however you're comfortable. You can go in the back so nobody can see you, however you wanna
I
be.
just need people.
Did you just say that and breathe in what?
Breathe in Hashem,
Yes,
or
Hashem,
your healing
I got it.
power, or
Yeah,
whatever you
I got
like. Hold it in, hold Hashem's love.
What did you say the first thing you just
Breathe in Hashem.
Oh, before that.
Oh, breathe in your healing power.
Healing power.
Hold
All right,
it in,
so in
hold
order
that
to do
healing
this,
power in your body.
You really need to
Feel
be
it
able to put your
circulating through
hands
your
out
body.
in
Breathe
front of you
out
like this and like
fear.
this. So you really need
I'll
to
tell
move
you
some of
later,
you
sweetie, 'cause I-
so that you're not touching each other, okay? Or not, gonna be, there we go. So you can sit if you want, or you can stand, okay? So we're gonna do Qigong. Let me just come over here so we can get our recording. We'll do a little bit of Qigong. Qigong means Qi is your life energy, and Gong means to play. So we're gonna play with our life energy by doing certain movements. These movements are very ancient. They've been done for thousands of years. It's totally healthy, okay? So you're gonna move your life energy. And if you say to me, well, I saw Qigong and it was totally different, that's because there's thousands of Qigong movements. The basics.
Tai Chi the same thing?
Hmm?
Tai Chi the same?
No, Tai Chi is when you're moving. Qigong is stationary, okay?
Well,
So-
pretty much, you're not totally
So,
stationary.
I mean, we're
I
not.
thought Qigong was like the exercise you're supposed to do
Well,
before Tai
Qigong,
Chi.
yeah, so a lot of people that do Tai Chi do Qigong before because it gets the energy flowing. So the simple rules are, number one, your feet are shoulder length apart. Your feet are parallel, so just check and see. And parallel like two railroad ties. Your knees are very, very imperceptibly slightly bent. And when you move up, when you inhale, you straighten out your legs. When you go down, when you exhale, you slightly bend your legs. The key really is to be slow, very, very slow and very soft. So we'll do some of the opening ceremony. And breathe only through your nose. Now we're going to open up our arms. So the breath on this is as follows. It's in. Now out. In. Out. Do one more. When you come down this time, I want you to make a ball opposite your tummy. And kind of really just look at it for a minute and really visualize that you have a ball in your hand. You have a ball made out of your hands. You're holding a ball. Bring that ball up over your head. And I want you to turn from the waist, holding the ball over your head. So rotate from the waist. Your head stays in the center of your body. And if you want, you can pass the ball from hand to hand. So this is called Dance of the Clouds. Hands float down, and then we're going to part the clouds. So imagine there's a lot of visualization. Imagine you're in a cloud bank, and you just push the clouds away. Hands float down. And remember, I said that you're going to turn from the waist, so we're going to repel the monkey. So move from the waist, repel the monkey. So it's sort of like swimming, except that you're moving from the waist. There you go. Next movement is called boat in the lake. So grab your oars and row. Exhale, and then inhale. Slightly bend the knee, come up. Hands float down, slap the ball. And you may notice that your fingers are going to begin to involuntarily move. That's just your chi in your body flowing, your life energy. Make a ball. Going to throw the ball up. Throw the ball up. Hands float down. So I want you to imagine there's a piece of silk in the corner. You're going to reach with your thumb and your first finger and pull it towards yourself. Always rotating from the waist. There you go. Everybody's got it. So we're moving our waist from the waist. do restoration. Exhale as you go down, inhale as you go up. Out. In. Slow it down. Hands float down. Now gather all that good energy and you shower yourself with it. I'd like you to cover your right hand over your left and slowly push that good energy back towards your tummy. You get to your tummy, begin to massage yourself very gently in small circles, getting bigger and bigger. Come to a full stop, go the opposite direction, getting smaller and smaller. And stop with your thumbs over your belly button, your hands over your tummy, and let's practice 3 deep inhales and exhales using only our nose and not our mouth. In. Out. In. Out. One more in. And out. Hands at your sides. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining us.
So I hope and pray that some of these things will help you to be happier, healthier,
So is that on
holier.
one particular YouTube?
What?
What, the Qigong?
I'm gonna make a qigong. Let me turn off the camera, actually.